Humans, you ever wake up and wonder, what the why, though? Like, we get the how, that's just details. But what the why, though? Why does that thing do that? Why that thing at all? Why anything? Yeah, everything everywhere is all at once. I saw the movie, it's a delight. But why, though? Why, after all the evolution, do you still bite your own tongue sometimes? Why sometimes when you're on a bridge, do you just want to throw yourself off of it? Not because you're depressed, just like cuz. L'appel du vide in French, high place phenomenon in science, but like, use the fun one. Why do things taste like they do? Yeah, it's because science, but then like cilantro though, why? Celery, what's it doing? What's its deal? Like, it just tastes like whatever it's near. It's not doing anything for itself. I don't trust it. It's just sneaking around, hiding under other flavors. What's its goal, man? You ever just wonder? I mean, like a hearty looking up at the sky kind of contemplation, really letting your mind go, hushing the fuss, chilling the thrill kind of pontification, scored by a light guitar with xylophone accents like something out of that one indie movie that Trevor said you had to see, because it's like about life, man. Like, it's really grounded in how it's about nothing and everything. Really gives a lot of insights while providing no answers to the questions it poses. You know, give a proper ponder like you're a featured actor in an insurance commercial. Really give it a good think, humans. Do you ever just sit and wonder, podcasts? What the why, though? Like, okay. They started back in 2000 when software engineer David Weiner met MTV VJ from the day Adam Curry in a hotel room. Yeah, woo Adam Curry, he'll appreciate it. Anyway, David Weiner was like, hey, I got this thing called an RSS feed, which stands for really simple syndication or RDF site summary, but like, use the fun one. Basically, it's a real-time updated XML file, which is an easily snackable file that's like Doritos for computers. Whatever you update to the feed, it updates anybody creeping on it. Reading your diary, but you're into it. You're walking around the room naked with the curtains up. Go ahead and look. You know what you're doing. Anyway, so David Weiner and Adam Curry are talking in a hotel room about using an RSS feed for downloading audio stuff in real time. Audio blogging, if you've already tuned out. And I wouldn't blame you, because we're talking about the history of podcasts. Anyway, so they tested it out by posting a Grateful Dead song, and it worked! And then BBC journalist Ben Hammersley talked about it in 2004, wondering, pondering, assuming himself, maybe it's called a podcast, which is a portmanteau of iPod and broadcast, yada yada, now you're obsessed with true crime, humans. But that's the how. What the why, though? Which is what I was feeling when I was listening to Meghan Markle's new Spotify podcast, Archetypes. Now, of course the Duchess of Sussex has a podcast. Podcasts are everywhere, all around, next to you on the train, right behind you, casually walking past you on the street. They are the Michael Myers of audio, because if you get caught by a podcast, you can't escape it. Its casual atmosphere is too comforting. It's green tea scented flypaper for your ears. And it's super easy to do. Everybody has one. I have one. You're on it right now. But why, though? Since her and Prince Harry jumped in the Rover, cranked Bruce Springsteen, and dirt gravel smoked big fuck off to the aristocracy back in 2020, Megxit, never forget. Yeah, technically they, quote, stepped back as senior members and became financially independent, but use the fun one. They've gone on to do a bunch of fun stuff. Who's surprised? They're basically a Julia Roberts movie from the 90s living out in real time with all of us locked into their RSS feed, whether we want to be or not. Of course they're going to live it up. They went on to start their own audio production company called Archwell Audio in December of 2020. And like, good for them. But like, they could have called it Posh Media or Jolly Good Radio or Hot Tea or some shit. Instead, they picked a name that sounds like they do experiments on clones, which it's not. It's fucking podcasts. What the why, though? They did a deal with everybody's favorite protest on Facebook, but I'm still gonna use it, Spotify. And then they were supposed to launch their first episode in 2021, but a lot of shit was supposed to happen in 2021. Everybody had dreams. Now, at long last, or just 2 years later, Meghan Markle has launched Archetypes with Meghan, a podcast where we investigate, dissect, and subvert the labels that try to hold women back. And yeah, that's a very admirable and important message and a concept. But just saying, she could have called it Dishing with the Duchess. Or she could have called it Sussing It Out, but fine. Pick a word that doesn't look like it's pronounced. Make it harder for everybody. Now, our first episode dropped August 23rd, 2022, co-hosted with Serena Williams, and it was fine. There were some very heartfelt and intense stories from the wild world of tennis interjected with things that made Meghan nervous. It was a very clean conversation. And by that, I mean the production was nice, but shit, it better be fucking nice. Fucking Duchess of Sussex here. Even if she is a road podcaster now, she's not cranking out Bitcoin predictions under a blanket on a fucking snowball while her dog barks in the background. No! She's coming on flawless with one of those NPR mics that makes you sound like you're made out of glitter. Now, on occasion, Serena had a deep anecdote that she gleaned while dominating the clay. But then Meghan comes in with the kind of story you get from a yoga instructor after class that you want to feel before them because they're a person, but it's about a card they read at Walgreens that made them sad, or a song they heard that you're never going to remember the name of, so you just have to nod your way knowingly through the story with your eyes closed like you're processing it, but you're really thinking about how fucking hungry you are all of a sudden. You'll get your usual podcast fare, comforting music, soft fades. Somebody's going to get asked a question that's a little deeper than they assumed, signaling this by going, oh, wow, and then taking longer than usual to answer the question. People use the phrase at the end of the day a lot, brunch conversation. And then Meghan takes a break for ads. Necessary, I guess necessary, but because of sponsors. But it's a fucking podcast. It's not an XFM satellite talk show, but it is. But it isn't. It's podcast. What the actual why? You'll learn some stuff, but it's not going to smack you around or anything. And if you're used to the savage treatment by something like a horror pod or a murder cast, you'll find its delicate touch alarming at first. Like when you want a drink and you get a pure leaf tea, which, by the way, is the kind of sponsor you'll get whispering smiles in your ear during Archetypes with Meghan. Fair warning, it's very gentle. And at the end of the day, it's got a very useful information about how women are treated in high positions, so it's got something to say. This wasn't just fizz, but I did want fizz. Like I was saying, it's brunch convo, so naturally I want something fizzy, but I got chai tea, which is fine. And people must really want that smooth, drinkable, earthy discourse, because Archetypes with Meghan is now the most downloaded podcast on Spotify, knocking Joe Rogan's post-CrossFit bong rip in the man cave with your socks on podcast, The Rogan Experience, down to second place, which is probably irony. That, or people are just tired of Rogan's man pinion corner with hot wings and farts and are craving something a little lighter. I don't really care. I got my own problems. I'm just out here wandering. It's pleasantly done, well executed, and timely, and the thumbnail image is Meghan Markle, black and white, looking like she's got something to tell you right before you have to go. Simple, non-threatening. Just Meghan, don't be afraid, unless you're the British nobility, because they're a little nervous she's going to turn it into a drag sesh, and I kind of hope she does. But hey, for right now, when you pop on your Spotify and search for something new to listen to, Archetypes with Meghan is live, and it's going to be the first thing you see, casual and peaceful as shopping at Michael's, which is a nice thing to know is on top right now. What the why, though? Hell if I know. All I know is whether you like it or whether you don't, whether you care or whether you're just paying attention to be polite, you're never far from a podcast. And we're about out of time. Thank you to our sponsors, and thank you for being on mine. I love you. Good night. Chad the